Welcome to recording 1B for adding and subtracting rational expressions in Unit 6, Chapter 6 of Mathematics 2200. We're going to look at adding and subtracting rational expressions using lowest common denominators. We're asked to simplify this expression completely. Each of these has the same denominator already, x minus 2, so we can jump right to finding non-permissible values. We set the only factor we have in this case is x minus 2, make that equal 0. So x equals 2 is our non-permissible value. We add and subtract the numerators. So we will end up with here x squared plus 3x minus 10. So we just added or subtracted the numerators all over x minus 2. We can factor the x squared plus 3x minus 10 as x plus 5, x minus 2, all over x minus 2. The x minus 2, that's a like factor in the top and the bottom, so in this case, yes, we can indeed simplify it a little further. And we are left with x plus 5, but with the restriction that x cannot be 2 because our non-permissible value was 2. Here's another one, much like it. Find the non-permissible values. Our only denominator is 4m minus 3, so we make that equal to 0. We get 4m equals 3 here, and therefore m equals 3/4. Then we add and subtract the numerators. Now, we need to be a little careful with this one, because we have a subtraction before that second fraction, before that second rational expression. And you need to be aware that that fraction symbol or fraction line there does double duty. Okay, it does two things. It indicates division, like so. So we're dividing the top by the bottom. And it also indicates or takes the place of brackets, so it works like brackets. Okay, so that means we need to be careful. My recommendation here is change that to a plus, put brackets around that numerator, that second numerator, and put a negative outside. That reminds us to distribute it, like so. So we've got 10m minus 1 over 4m minus 3 minus, or plus rather, negative 8 plus 2m all over 4m minus 3. Now I add my numerators, I get my like terms together. 10m and 2m is 12m. And negative 1 and negative 8 is negative 9 over 4m minus 3. Check to see if any further factoring can be done. Well, we have a common factor in the numerator. It's 3. So we've got 3 outside of 4m minus 3 over 4m minus 3. We can cancel, or not cancel, but divide these like factors, and our final answer is 3, where m cannot be equal to 3/4. This next one takes a little more work because we don't already have the common denominator, or the lowest common denominator. It says factor each denominator if necessary. Can't really factor these denominators, but we can consider them. This 3 is really over 1. So our LCD is, well, the x occurs twice, so it needs to have an x squared, and the y occurs once, and putting a 1 here is not going to make any difference. Now we find the non-permissible values. The only values that will make this denominator ever be 0 is x equals 0 and y equals 0. Those are the only two non-permissible values here. Now we have to ensure each expression has the LCD. So the first expression needs to have an x squared, so we are missing an x. We need to multiply that by x over x. The second one is missing the y. And the last one is missing both the x squared and the y. That gives us this result. So we add and subtract the numerators as necessary. Like so, we check to see if any further factoring can be done. None can be done here, not even common factoring. So we're finished except for writing the restrictions that x cannot be 0 and y cannot be 0. On to the last example. In this one we have two different denominators again. I'll do the factoring of the first denominator up here. I've got y squared minus 20 over y minus 2y plus 2. Nothing I can do with the second one. So our lowest common denominator is y minus 2y plus 2 because those factors occur once each. That gives us non-permissible values of 2 and negative 2. The first expression already has the LCD. The second one is missing the y minus 2 from the denominator, so we multiply the top and the bottom by that. Expanding the top here, y minus 2 times y minus 2 gives us y squared minus 4y plus 4. Getting our like terms together, we get 2y squared minus 4y minus 16 over the LCD. And we check for further factoring. Common factor of 2 outside of y squared minus 2y plus 8 over y minus 2y plus 2. Carrying that to a new slide, we factor the y squared minus 2y plus 8 a little further, and now we can divide those y plus 2's, and we have, expanding this in the top, 2y minus 8 over y minus 2. Y cannot equal to 2 or negative 2. In conclusion, to add or subtract rational expressions, follow these steps that we did throughout this recording.